everybody can see me, hopefully, and hear me. Welcome to everybody that's here to join us tonight. If all of you don't know me by name already, I'm Kate. Hi, I'm an RBT. I work with kids with autism. Sorry, they're being crazy already, and I can't even sit for 5 seconds. Let me up, Pat. Sorry, my dog's knocking me over. Anyway, my name is Kate. I'm an RBT. I work with children with autism or on the spectrum. I'm also a nanny. I babysit for several children. So if those of you that don't know me, like I said, hi, welcome. My name is Kate. I'm glad to be here tonight with all of you guys. So I'm going to be covering some autism questions that you may have, ABA questions, some inspiration on certain things that you're struggling with, like if it's home situations, if it's school, if it's work, doesn't matter what it is. I could definitely try to cover that tonight and go over inspirational things that can help you to move forward in the right direction. So I'm glad to be here. I'm happy that you guys are all here with me, and let's see where we go. I guess so we can start off with a little bit of background of how this came to be with me. I met Nita about a couple months ago, and we started talking on Facebook, and I found her amazing group. Obviously, here we are, Autism and Us, and I fell in love with Nita, and we became good friends. I talked to Linda as well, and thanks to both of them, here I am trying to advance my inspirational speaking side. I'm also an inspirational speaker. I do have a website. It's inspiration by, I think it's either inspiration or inspirationsbykate.com. But either way, you should be able to find me both ways. I also have a Facebook page. It's called Inspirational Videos by Kate. So you can find me there as well. So I am working with a coach right now in Houston. His name is Mike Ellerkamp. He is very happy that I am working so hard on my blogs and my speeches and trying to get out here and get on with everybody. So, like I said, that's how this all came to be with inspirational speaking. A little bit about my ABA side. I've been RBT for a year. I absolutely love what I do. I love working with kiddos with autism. I love being a nanny on the side. It's great. Life is great. So I'm very excited to be here with you guys, like I said tonight, and to hang out and talk. I'm not seeing big comments, so I'm going to keep watching for comments as we go. Um, so that's mostly how I became who I am. So with all this COVID stuff going on and all the hardships that we're going through right now and all the anxieties and all the ups and downs of the not knowns and the unknowns and a lot of things have been rough lately. So how do we deal with that with autism? It's kind of hard. Like I said, for me and myself, I'm autistic. I have Asperger's. I'm high functioning. However, I still struggle. My anxiety, my overstimulation, my sensory deprivation. Certain things just get me overwhelmed. So how do I handle it? I use certain techniques or coping mechanisms that I've learned in order to be successful, and some of them that I use are journaling, my little flarp or little gack or whatever it may be, and it's just a lot of fun, and I love what I do. So, just being me, and that's who I am. Hello. Hi, Danielle. How are you, sweetheart? So, but yeah, like I said, flarp, gack, putty. I use a lot of coloring techniques with adult coloring books. I listen to calm music. I journal. There's a lot of different things that we have to work on with me still. One of my Jake, excuse me, puppy. Sorry, my puppy Jake is brand new to us. He's only been here a week, so he's screaming. They're screaming right now outside, so I'm gonna try to shut them out so I can actually talk. Anyway, there we go. That's more quiet. But anyway, like I said, with my sensory stimulation or deprivation, I had to learn to cope with new things. And especially during COVID, this is one of the new ones right here. I got braces, and it's been a whole challenge because you can't eat certain foods that I used to love anymore. I can't have candy. I can't have peanuts. I can't have anything too crunchy, too sticky, too gooey, too ooey. So a lot of new sensory stimulation techniques and things I've had to learn to, get used to having braces and being able to actually handle wearing the braces. The first week, like I said, was really hard with these braces. The first week was hell on earth. It was like wearing these things that were putting so much pressure on your teeth and making you so painful and so tired. And like, it was my worst experience with my first week with braces, especially with talking. I'm still struggling with the aspect of learning to talk with these things on. I feel like sometimes I'm just having a hard time speaking because the braces make it hard to talk. So with that being said, hold on one second. I'm gonna try to sneak out here because these dogs keep wanting to follow me everywhere. So with that being said, I had to learn to wear my braces and like them. And with my autism, it's hard for me to do because being autistic, who would think, oh, I have to wear braces for 2 years? It's just some wire and metal and brackets that they put on, and it's just normal. No, it's not. It's not normal. It's not normal to have that feeling in your mouth of wires poking you or prodding you or brackets falling off, or it's a lot to get used to. And with that being said, that's my new challenge during the COVID pandemic of wearing braces. Not only that, I've had to find new jobs and start all over again. So things have been up and down with us, but like I said, I've been working on it. My son is 14. He will act out when his SLP lets someone she takes a turn in group. He knows how to take turns and if the trigger is attention. Danielle, it could definitely be attention. It could be an attention seeking habit, an attention seeking trigger. It could be just anxiety of the fact of having to wait. It could be the fact that he thinks that, he has to have all the attention. He wants at that moment, but doesn't understand the fact that he has to wait his turn because he has other friends or classmates that have to take their turn as well. So some things that she can try is, giving him another activity to do while like color desimulate, maybe some gag, some putty, some flarp, something to keep him motivated, but to help that sensory deprivation or simulation or attention seeking to wind down. And he will eventually learn, okay, I'm calm, they're calm, therefore I'm going to wait for my teacher to be done. So you could definitely try to work on the attention seeking with him. Like I said, try some calming music, some flarp, some putty, some gat, going for a walk, maybe just like figuring out what his triggers are and what works and what doesn't work for him. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you. Anyway, so back to what I was finishing up before we got our first comment. And sorry guys, I have it's a Southwest plane flying over my house. I didn't realize we got Southwest over here, but I guess we do have Southwest Airlines. That's a fun fact to know. I love Southwest, so that's good to know. Anyway, back to what I was saying about wearing the braces. I had to learn to, be able to cope with new things. I lost a job back in Texas. I lost a job, back in Ohio. I've lost a job since I moved here. The preschool that I was at, they just were not doing well, and I had to let go because I had to find something new. So now I'm back with RBT and nannying on the side. And I'm absolutely loving what I do. Hello, Denise. Welcome. Thank you. My son is 21. How did you handle your first job, and how can he handle things when things go wrong? Hi, Hilda. Welcome. So, I'm 28. I had my first job when I was about 21 as well. I had to learn to cope with my first job at a daycare by working with the management team and letting them know that I had autism. I had to be upfront about it and ask for accommodations. And after that, I found the appropriate fit for me with management, and I was successful for about a year. And then I moved forward from that job because the management had changed. So it really depends on what job position that you're looking for him to take. But make sure that you tell them that he has autism. Be upfront about it. Ask about accommodations. Don't be scared to, be there for your son and to stand up for him. So I hope this helps, and I wish him the best of luck. I wish everybody the best. All right, more questions. Anybody else have a question while we're going? That was a really good question. Actually, talking about jobs is the next thing I was actually going to talk about during the pandemic, is how to handle new things and old things. So, new things of handling with autism during COVID, it's especially different because right now, all of us kiddos that have autism, we're going through that change with you. But for us, sorry, I've had like really bad allergies. But for us, it's like 10 times harder to cope right now because you think that you're overwhelmed and you're overstimulated and you're worried. We're just as worried as you guys. We're just as overstimulated as you guys, but we're feeling it 10% more or 20% more depending on how you are is how your child reacts to you. So remember, when you're working with us during COVID, remember that you have to be calm. You have to be in the moment. You have to have that calmness in you because if you're not calm, we're not calm. So that's how you handle that situation with that. So it's very important to let the company know about autism. Yes, you answered my question. Thank you. Yep, it is very important to let the company know about autism because that way they can get accommodations for your son in order for him to be successful in that job field. Now, for me, Hilda, when I was starting up in job positions, I struggled with my autism to the worst severity that I could. I got let go of jobs because of my autism. I got fired from jobs because I'm autistic. I've gone through several things. So now I found out that my area where I belong is RBT and working with kiddos with autism because if I'm autistic, then how do I get back to the neighborhood and to my community? You work in the field that you belong in. And that became to me is RBT. I completed my RBT exam about 2 months ago. I got my license. I had my 40-hour certificate complete of training. So there's a lot of things that you have to do in order to become an RBT. But if he's interested in working with kiddos with autism and he's verbal, maybe look into the RBT field. So I hope that helps you. Hi, Denise. My son will soon be 7 years old and just about getting the ABA therapy, and he has a lot of anger. How can I help with his biting skills? Hi, Denise. Well, welcome. Biting skills are definitely something that we deal with a lot with the RBT ABA field. I suggest to all my kiddos parents and all my clients a mouthy or a biter chewy toy. I know that he has a lot of biting issues, like you said, so you can look on Amazon for some freezer chewy things to put in the freezer that are cold. Allow him to chew on those. Chewy necklaces. I don't have one, but they go around your neck and they're like long little pieces of either foam or styrofoam. But they're called chewy necklaces, and he can bite on that chewy as many times as he wants. Now, for the anger part of it, that's a whole new subject, a whole different story. That doesn't change just because he has anger. You're welcome, Hilda. He doesn't change just because he's different. He doesn't change just because he has anger issues. He's no different than any other person that suffers with anger. But for kids with autism, if we're either verbal or we're nonverbal, now let's say we're verbal, but we have issues with saying what we want or saying how we feel, then we have to figure out a different situation. So maybe charting it in a notebook and letting him write down how he feels, and then you respond. Maybe sitting down with them once a day and saying, hey, how are you feeling right now? Or maybe you could come up with a little center that has like the happy face, the sad face, the angry face, the sick face. Like, come up with a scenario or something that works for him to help him verbalize how he's feeling to you, and then offer him 2 to 3 different choices. If he is angry and you're trying to cool that down, offer 2 to 3 different positive redirection enforcements, which means I understand that you're angry, but let's go do an activity. Do you want to color? Do you want to do arts and crafts? Would you like to go outside? So try giving him those positive reinforcements and see if his anger gets better. Now, if he's nonverbal and he's having difficulties within that area, then that's a little bit more difficult, because how do you understand your child if he's angry but he can't verbalize that to you? Maybe try to learn some sign language. ASL is a huge incorporation in my life today. I know several things, from milk to potty to more to all done to certain things. Like, I could teach you this one. Both hands means all done. So if you do both your hands and you go like this, sorry, I don't want my hands cutting out, but all done. If they want more, you put your fingers together like this, and you put your hands holding together in a similar pattern. And this is, hold on, I can't do it right now, but this is more. Putting both hands together like this, more. So you can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm putting both my hands together in the middle, and I'm trying to do the more sign. So hold on, let me see if I can do it like this. More. No, it's not going to show my hands. More. I'm putting both my thumbs together. So all four thumbs go together, and you just click them and you say more. So that's all done. More. If they want milk, milk. Please and thank you. More, please. This is please. I know a couple of different easy signs, but I'm still taking ASL right now myself. So if he's nonverbal, maybe some ASL. ASL is a huge incorporation today into ABA, because kiddos that are not verbal, we use iPads, we use tablets. They have little binders that go around their neck with like their little words and their pictures. We use different things to work with our kiddos. So maybe trying one of those, like ASL, a binder with words and the pictures. Maybe using the iPad with, programming that has, the technology where he could tell you and, touch the word or the picture to tell you what he wants, depending on what, the issue is. That way you can work on his anger. It's probably because he wants to be able to tell you what's wrong, but he can't. So that is very frustrating, and I wish you all the best in that area. That is definitely so completely frustrating, and I can totally relate with you on that. So does anybody else have questions while I'm on here? We still have about 30 minutes plus. We end at 7, so it'd be 7 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock your time that we would end, because we usually do about an hour. So right now we're at 6:17 my time, 7:17 y'all's. So does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to ask me? What would we like to talk about? Just bring up any topics, anything that I can answer, and I will do my best to do so. If not, then I'm going to go back to talking about how we're coping with certain changes. So, like I was trying to finish saying earlier, with the COVID situation going on right now, we've had certain situations with kiddos with autism, like myself, where we're dealing with those changes like you guys are with COVID. We're having a hard time because we're just as overwhelmed as you guys are dealing with COVID. And it's been really hard. Thank you so much. He is nonverbal. You're welcome. I wish you the best. Like I said, with this COVID, we're just as overstimulated as you are. We're just as worried as you are. But we take it 100%. Sorry, there's another airplane. We take it as 100% more anxiety riding or anxious tactics, or we take it up 100% on that notch. So if you're anxious because of COVID, or you're anxious because you're feeling some kind of emotion, or you're angry because of COVID, or you're mad because of COVID, or whatever it may be, just remember that us kiddos with autism, we feed off of what you feel. So if you feel that way and you're angry, hi Miss Lorienda. So if you feel a certain way and you're angry, you're mad, you're upset, you're whatever, just remember that we will feed off of your energy. So you have to remember during COVID that you have to remain as calm as possible. Does your blood pressure go up during your seizures? Yes, let me finish what I'm saying, and then I'll get to you right away, Lorienda, okay? So, like I said, just remember during COVID right now, you have to remain as calm as possible for your kiddos, because now is a time where they are going to feed off of mom, off of dad, off of grandparents, whatever their energy is. That's what you're gonna, have to deal with, because they're gonna feed off of you guys. So just remember to remain calm and not to show how you're feeling. Choose your blood pressure. Hi, Lorienda. Yes. So, good question. I have a condition called PD seizures. Due to my autism, it's called photogenic non-epileptic seizure disorder. Which means due to my anxiety with my autism or how I'm feeling, like if I'm super sad, if I'm super mad, if I'm super overstimulated, it's a new change, it's a different place, like things like that get me triggered, and it does cause me to seize. Now, are these seizures normal epilepsy? Absolutely not. These seizures are called clonic tonic seizures, which means that I seize just like any other normal seizure patient. But there is no brainwave changes. So it's not technically epilepsy. It's called an anxiety seizure related to autism. So with my seizure condition, yes, my blood pressure does go up. My heart rate goes way up. I skyrocket. I get really white, really pale. I start feeling shaky, and then I do seize. So yes, Lorienda, I do know what you're talking about, and yes, I definitely do get high blood pressure and high anxiety during seizures. Yes, ma'am. Does anybody else have any other questions? Should we keep going? Do you want to talk about certain topics? Let me know, guys. I'm open to anything. I'm very open. If not, let's go back and finish what I was trying to get stated earlier again. During COVID, like I was talking about earlier, your child is going to feed off of your energy. So I know it's hard right now during COVID to deal with all these changes. So what I suggest is trying to keep that child or your kiddo or whatever you call them, kiddo, child, baby, whatever you call your children. Try to keep your kids as calm as possible. Offer 2 to 3 activities. To ask the child what they want to do for the day. You can get a chart that's on the refrigerator and put the options of activities that are available. You can, go for walks, go to the park, play calm music, take a warm bath. Several things can help your child with autism destimulate and try to remain calm during COVID. So I hope that this helps a little bit. You're welcome, Morienda Love. I hope that helps. So I hope it helps you guys understand a little bit more of autism and how to unwind and unstimulate during COVID. I answered a lot of questions so far, and I still have plenty of time. So if you guys would like to answer, or ask certain questions I can answer, let me know. Um, it's getting new and normal for me to talk with braces, but I may have to pause because the amount of saliva that comes out during braces is like overwhelming. So I keep taking a deep breath and trying not to spit, but it's hard with these braces on both top and bottom. Um, so I'm learning how to re-talk again. It's like being a brand new baby and trying to learn how to speak for the first time. It's definitely difficult. But that's another thing that I was going to also try to talk to you guys about tonight is the autism and medical things. I've had a lot of parents come to me lately and PM, and that's okay with me if you guys PM me. I don't mind at all. I absolutely love it. But medical things with autism, how can you handle doctor's appointments? How do you handle changes at doctor's offices, like staff? How do you handle changes like orthodontics? Like, what are things that work and don't work? So for me, the latest message that I had gotten from one of my friends that lives back in Ohio, her kiddo is autistic, and she just started going to an orthodontist as well as me. So the mom had messaged me and said, "Kate, how did you handle your braces? What did you do to remain calm?" Because most of us kiddos with autism, when we go to a dentist, we're going to a sedation dentist, which means you're getting nitrous oxide, which is called the laughing gas. It's a little plastic nose that goes over the child's nose, and that helps them to get kind of calm and relaxes the muscles and helps them to untense. So this mom had messaged me and said, "Kate, I know that we can't get laughing gas or sleepy air or happy air, whatever you want to call it, at the ortho. So how did you deal with your medical situation change?" So for me, number one, what is my biggest trigger? Medical appointments. Anytime that we have a new doctor, a new nurse, a new staff member that does not know me, I will freak out. Like, I will fog like crazy, and it is bad. So, how does Rob prepare for my new appointments? He talks to that facility or that doctor's office and states the fact that he has medical guardianship of me or medical custody, that we need to be seen by the same doctor and kept with the same staff. That way, every time we go back, it's a familiar face and it's not changing constantly. Now, with pain and different, procedures, how do I deal with it? Most of my MRIs, my CT scans, all those things are sedation for me. So I'm usually knocked out via IV sedation and put to sleep. Dental things for me, I'm sedated with laughing gas or happy air and Halcyon. Halcyon is a strong sedative pill. It comes in 5, 10, and I believe 20 milligram pills. I take two 10 milligram pills for dental, and then I get the happy air on top of it, and it seems to pretty much cue me down or quiet me down or kind of like relax me to where I'm like there, but I'm not there. So I'm kind of like, woohoo, what's going on? So being that it's a different field, how do we prepare for these changes? Rob and I always bring a weighted blanket. Number one, my favorite thing is my weighted blanket. I have a Minnie Mouse weighted blanket that is red on the front with Minnie Mouse faces and then purple polka dots on the back. And we bring that blanket everywhere we go. We always keep it in the car and we always have a spare in the trunk. In case if we forget one, we have another. So weighted blankets, they're great. I suggest weighted blankets to the utmost. Get a weighted blanket for your child and you will not be sorry. The 5 pound ones at Walmart, Target, Kohl's, wherever you want to go to get it, the 5 pound ones for kids, they work for me. And I'm 28 and it's not supposed to work because I'm supposed to have at least 20 to 25 pounds of weight per my body. But the 5 pound ones, they work phenomenal for me. And I love that they are characters. So I have Paw Patrol, I have Minnie Mouse, I have Baby Shark. I have a couple different weighted blankets. So weighted blanket is definitely an utmost for me. After we pack the weighted blanket for doctor's appointments, going out, whatever, we always have a sippy cup of either juice, water, whatever it may be. That's the next thing that I rely on is my sippy cup of juice or whatever. Because for me, having a sippy cup and a snack keeps me calm and helps me to remain calm. So that is another thing that I use as a sippy cup or, the cup with juice or whatever. After we pack that for the appointment for the day, we use a snack. You always bring a snack or a couple different snacks for the day. It helps to keep me calm. It keeps me motivated. I just love to eat. I'm an eater. I love to eat. So that helps me. And then definitely having my favorite doll or favorite kind of item that, you want to go to. Whether your child loves their dolls, they love, a certain pillow, they love a certain stuffy, whatever it may be, use those to help your child to like remain calm at appointments. And remember, always go into their appointments calm because if you're not calm, that kiddo is not calm with autism. So you've always got to remember that if you don't remain calm and you are not calm and in control of the situation, then you need to step out and bring in somebody that is calm to be with that kiddo because the more calm the adult is, the more calm the child will remain. So I hope that helps you with medical situations and helps parents to understand how things work for us kiddos. Like I said, um, I could try to talk about at home situations. You are very helpful, my dear. Thank you, my love. I really appreciate it. You are so sweet. I want to thank you so much. You're welcome, Denise. Um, Lorienda says, yes, Brandon absolutely 100% loves the weight blanket. You recommend to get that for Brandon. Thank you. I got it from Target. Yes, I love my weighted blankets. It's a must. Um, so we could talk about at home situations. Let's talk a little bit about at home. Some of us may struggle with at home therapy and home therapy, whether it's ABA in home, whether it's center and home. There's different statures of ABA therapy that everybody's going through right now with COVID. Some of us may have been center based, but because of COVID, we're now home based. So with that going on, I know it's a lot of change for a lot of your kiddos. She is a gem. Thank you, Lorienda. So I know it may be hard with some of your kiddos being changed from in center ABA to at home ABA. It's a lot of change for me being in RBT. So I know it's difficult for them if it's difficult for me. And I'm also autistic. So there's the two in one. So being that the fact that therapy has been changed a lot right now due to COVID, and we're unsure when we'll be back in center. Some of us are back in center. Some of us are at 25%. Some of us are at 50% population. It depends on how our kiddos are doing. Now, if you're thinking about, well, why doesn't my kid, adjust well to in home if he was at center or if she was at center? It's because she's not used to being home all the time. If you're bringing that kiddo in 3 days a week to a center for ABA and then all of a sudden, boom, it's at home 5 days a week or 3 days a week, how do you think I would feel? I would feel completely overwhelmed, overstimulated, and completely what's the word I'm looking for? I'd be completely frantic. Like I'd be so nervous and so overwhelmed because I'm like, okay, I'm the kid that's getting ABA. I went from 3 days a week or 2 days a week at the center to now 5 days a week at home or 2 to 3 days a week at home. They are used to being with their friends. They are used to being in that ABA center with their friends that they've gotten to know. So being away and being home with mom and dad or grandma and grandpa or whoever it may be, it's not an easy change. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that they're going to be used to the next day. You've got to work with that kiddo on understanding the fact that due to COVID, we cannot be in center right now. Or some of us may be in center, but you have to wear a mask. And that's another thing. How do kiddos with autism handle wearing their mask? Absolutely, they do not handle wearing their mask. Some of us can't, some of us won't. Rihanna Victoria says, my son loves his wave blanket. Oh, that's amazing. Good to know. So some of us definitely have a hard time with our mask. I know for what do you call it, Nita's son, he loves his mask, and it took Nita time and time again for her to get him to wear that mask. For me, it took me time and time again to get used to wearing my mask. And I still struggle with it to this day because if I'm in center 2 days a week now and I'm at homes 3 days a week, how do you handle wearing your mask for like more than 3 hours in somebody's home? It's very frustrating because you feel like your face is claustrophobic because you're thinking, can you hear me now? Can I feel myself breathe? Like that's how it is because a mask covers this and your nose. So how do you breathe? How do you get air out? If you're a mouth breather and you're covered by that mask doing this to you, how do you learn to be a nose breather with the mask? You don't. It's hard. So, how do you work with your kiddo on understanding the fact of these changes? So, start off by offering the kiddo a reward. If the kiddo does a great job at the change and they're doing phenomenal that day with ABA and home or at center 2 days a week because of this change, offer them a reward. Go for some ice cream. Take them to their favorite store. Buy them a favorite toy. Reward that kiddo for that positive change and understanding that change. Because the more that you reward them, the more that they're going to see, oh, this change is okay. Mom and dad are okay with it. I'm okay with it. So you have to work at certain things to get them to understand that. My son can't wear one. I have a medical note for the timing. A medical note may or may not work depending on the situation. You have to get it certified by a state certified psychologist. So depending on what state you are in, a family doctor will not work. An ENT will not work. You have to have a state licensed psychologist sign that note saying that due to autism, your son cannot wear masks. So make sure if it's not done by your state psychologist that you reach out to that doctor and say, hey, I know that it has to be a psychologist who signs it for like, the food store, Target, Walmart. They need that note to say, okay, yes, they are legally represented by this psychologist that has known this kid, that has had this child on medication, and due to the fact of all these changes, he cannot wear the mask. So make sure that you double check your note and 3 times double check it to make sure it is correct. I understand that he may not be able to wear it, and that's okay. That's completely okay because I struggle with wearing my mask to this day. I had to learn to wear it in the store, at work. I had to learn to wear it at school. Do I like it? Absolutely freaking not. But do we do it to keep each other and all of us safe? Yes. And some of the kiddos may not be able to do that. Some of them may have to remain at home during this pandemic. And that's okay too. You just have to make it fun. If you're at home all day with that kid, provide activities, do arts and crafts, um, do music, do circle time, read a story, you know, ask them what kind of food they want for lunch, prepare the food together, do certain things to keep your kids stimulated and not overwhelmed. Because the more calm that you are, the more fun that that kiddo sees, the more that that kiddo sees you wearing your mask or sees you being calm or sees you having fun, that kiddo is going to react off of you and do the exact same thing. So I hope that you guys have learned a lot so far. And I really love being here with you guys. So if anybody has questions or anything they want to ask, you can go ahead and ask. I've covered a lot of topics. Um, so, my inspiration for tonight with all of this is how do we keep our head above water during COVID or during the pandemic? Rihanna, okay, thank you for that. You're welcome. So, how do we keep our head above water with this pandemic? How do we stay on top of things and feel like we're good with this? You have to realize that this change is a change that we all had to adjust to. We all had to get used to this change. This is not something that works overnight for our kiddos with autism. This is not a change that will come within a day. This is not a change that snap and boom, we're there. No, this takes work for us to change. This takes time for us to change. So, how do you keep your head above water and feel good about your changes and your children doing okay? You remain calm yourself and you work with your kid. Take one day at a time, one step at a time, one foot forward, the next foot forward, one foot back, the next foot back. It's going to happen. You take two steps back and one step forward, right? And then you keep going back and forth. It's going to escalate. It's going to be two steps forward, one foot back, two steps forward, another foot back. It doesn't change overnight. So, how do you handle that change? Be prepared, be ready, be excited. Help that child, give them activities, provide them things to do during the day at home. Include them. If you're going to the food store and you're going to wear your mask, show your child their mask ahead of time if they can wear it and say, hey, we're going to take a trip to the food store, but I want you to help me food shop. You're going to pick out the apples today, or you're going to cross off the items as mom or dad puts it in the cart, or you're going to help me, pick out your favorite food for lunch or dinner. Like, you have to include the child in those options because the more activities that you provide, the more things that you involve the child in, the easier that it will become for both you and the kiddos. So I hope that my inspiration for tonight truly is helping you guys and encouraging you guys and blessing you guys and giving you the power, the wisdom, the love, and the health that you guys need and all the strength as well to get through this pandemic. I love each and every one of you. I am so happy that I am here with you guys right now. We are getting close to 7:40, 6:40 my time. So we're going to get ready to open the floor up to questions. I will take questions for about the next, let's say, 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to wrap it up by 8 o'clock your time and 7 mine because I have to make dinner for my family. Rob and I still have to run to the food store and do some food shopping. So this was a last minute change I also had to make with Nita to doing it tonight instead of Wednesday. So this was like, whoop, let me flip my calendar and erase my time with Rob for right now. So I put him up in his office to do his work, and I came outside to be with y'all. And now at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna pencil back in to be with my love and make dinner and go food shopping and relax. I'm still hurting from my braces, so thank you, Nita. That is my Facebook. Nita, there is one more website, the inspirationsbykate.com, I believe. That one is my professional website. If you want to pin that one as well as the Facebook, that'd be great. So does anybody have any questions right now? I'd like to open up the floor to the that you can find some blogs that I've written there. My second one is called Colorful Colors. It's my favorite blog that I'm so far yet. It explains why I write in colorful colors and how it helps me with my autism. Like, it's just been amazing. I've written a couple about COVID and some suggestions. I've written a few about anxiety and depression. So please go check out inspirationsbykate.com. If you're interested in booking a local speaking event, please let me know. I would love to come out to Chicago, Detroit, wherever you guys are located. I love to hold an event and be an inspirational speaker for you. We could talk about my fees and everything when we get to that point, but please let people know that I am opening up to events. I am still taking public speaking events, even with COVID. So please keep me in mind for your next event and let me know how I could be of service. So at this time, let's open up the floor, like I said, to questions. Does anybody have any questions? Questions. Going once, going twice. Sold to no questions. I'll give it a few more minutes with you guys to ask any last minute questions that you may have. If not, then Nita and I usually wrap up around 6:50 ish, 7. We log off and we talk for a couple minutes and then we post the video. So if you guys have any questions, let me know right now. If not, I'm probably going to end it by saying thank you for everybody for joining me. I hope that it's been a great night together. I really love each and every one of you. It's always special to be here with all of you guys. And I wish each and every one of you blessings, love, hope, and strength for the next couple of weeks going forward. And together we will all get through COVID, even with our kiddos. It will be a great success at the end of this pandemic. So keep your head up. Always look forward to tomorrow. Be excited, be ready, and be great. Thank you, everybody, for having me. And I really can't wait until next time.